This video goes over some details of how the United States government is set up. The separation of powers devised by the framers of the Constitution was designed to do one primary thing: to prevent the majority from ruling with an iron fist. Based on their experience, the framers shied away from giving any branch of the new government too much power. The separation of powers provides a system of shared power known as checks and balances. The three branches that were created in the Constitution are the legislative, which is composed of the House and Senate and is set up in Article 1. The executive, composed of the President, the Vice President, and the departments, is set up in Article 2. The judicial, composed of the federal courts and the Supreme Court, is set up in Article 3. In addition to their exclusive powers, both the national government and state governments share powers. Shared powers between the national government and state governments are called concurrent powers. In the United States, examples of these concurrent powers possessed by both the federal and state governments are the power to tax, build roads, establish bankruptcy laws, and to create lower courts. The law that applies to situations where state and federal laws disagree is called the Supremacy Clause, which is part of Article 6 of the Constitution. The Supremacy Clause contains what's known as the doctrine of preemption, which says that the federal government wins in the case of conflicting legislation. Federalism in the United States is the constitutional relationship between United States state governments and the federal government of the United States. Since the founding of the country, and particularly with the end of the American Civil War, power shifted away from the states and towards the national government. Federalism was a political solution for the problems with the Articles of Confederation, which gave little practical authority to the federal government. For example, the Articles allowed the Continental Congress the power to sign treaties and declare war, but it could not raise taxes to pay for an army, and all major decisions required a unanimous vote.